Hey guys, welcome back. This episode we're doing a electric vacuum pump install. We're doing a battery box remount into the rear of the Patrol, and we are bracing the front diff. So there you go. Enjoy the video. Down to it now.
Grind your shit.
Okay.
Hey! He's running!
Okay folks, so we're back into it. I'm just annoying the shit out of Stuart,
Go away.
dictating him on how we're going to make a battery. So what we're going to do is mount our batteries in the back, and we put this car down on full bump so we know how high all this gear comes up, because we kind of ideally we don't want this clouding the bottom of the batteries. And we're going to put our two batteries side by side there. There's our battery cable just there coming through the front. So that's going to come up, and these two guys are going to go in like that, in there, and they'll sit about that tells you nothing, doesn't it? So they'll sit about slightly lower than the height of the tank once mounted. So we're going to put a bracket on here, make up a sort of a box that'll go in there, and the two batteries will sit there. She's playing with the grinder.
I want to make some racket, but that will interrupt your video, won't it?
We'll just make racket then, Stuart. See if I care. And I'm going to sand Bob. So we decided this piece of steel deserves a second life, because it's a reasonably light gauge, but it's maybe 40 mil, maybe 50. So what we're going to do is make a box up out of that. Stu's just welded in these brackets here, and we're going to bolt the box into that, and that will carry our batteries. So that's what Stu's doing. Hey team, so moving on. Where'd we get to? Didn't show you a whole lot of this, but Stu did a cracker job. So, battery mount. Put a couple of flats on the two cross members, checked it out, put a spacer between them, a couple of bits of threaded rod, welded into place, tapped the ends of it, put a bit of plate over the top with some angle there to hold the batteries in place. But that's our battery box. This is the car down on full bump. So, on full bump, that diff head can come up another 110 mil before it gets close to touching the bottom of that battery box. And we also have space. The reason we ran them long ways, not across ways, is we wanted to clear the top mounts. So even if she twists up, those have got 60, 70 mil clearance, so we should be fine. So that's batteries in. So what I'm trying to do is plumb in one of these. So that's a electric vacuum pump out of a Series 1 BMW. 45 bucks a pick apart. So I've got two of them, because you don't want to vacuum pump crap out on you in the bush. So what I've done is I'm moving everything out of the passenger side. So this passenger side's clear, and I'm thinking about putting an airbox back in here rather than in here. So batteries are back over in the back, right? So you'll notice that, so this guy here, I'm planning on that coming out. Plumb that. I've got another Bosch alternator that I was going to mount way up here, out of the mud, and it's a sealed unit. Well, not sealed, but better sealed. And hopefully that avoids losing charge halfway through a trip, which is, I ditch that. And I want to run a standard alternator up high out of the mud, but that means I've got to solve the vacuum problem. Now normally back over in here there's a canister, a couple of vacuum lines, a couple of check valves. The diesel pump normally sits over in that firewall, or it does on the GQs. So I'm moving all of that over here. So this is what I've got going on. So I brought the fuel up from that side, made up a bracket, fuel pump and filter sits in this battery box because I'm not using it. Got the canister, got my standard fuel line, vacuum lines, plumbed some new vacuum lines running through here, going to clutch and brake. I've tried to keep it simple, so those are 2 check valves, so they are one-way valves for air. One's really good, one's pretty good. Well, what that means is if you're running one of these little guys, which I've just found out, is they don't have a check valve in the system, which means that when they turn off, they will allow air flow back through. But the other problem is that I want to run this off a sender, this guy. It's on at 17 suckies and turns off at about 24 suckies. So that's about what the GQs run. So they run about maybe 26, but this will easily do, I've put a vacuum gauge on it, it'll do 27, so they're quite capable. Through here, then vacuum bleeds and this thing is running more frequently, and I don't really want that because I'm assuming that that's probably not great for it to be running all the time. So I've put a GQ check valve, one of these guys, in here, just an old one I had. Now I don't think it's working that hell of a well. This guy switches it off and on. This will connect to a relay, it'll power the earth, and this switches the pump on and off. If I can get you set up somewhere that makes good sense. So hopefully, let me check, see if you can see what I can see. Now I've also got a leak in my clutch booster. So at the moment I'm just blocking off the clutch booster pipe. Okay, so grab my earth, pretend that I'm running through a relay, earth it out. See that? Hear that? So when I plug that on, normally it would run for bloody ages. So all it's doing is creating vacuum on this side of the check valves, and I reckon it's leaking through here and it's bleeding back. So let's try that again. So I'm gonna see if I can play with these check valves and get this working. So we get everything set up, so let's have a look. And yes, it is. See if I can show you this. Okay, show you what I mean. Now I can't tell, this gauge is really old, so it's sitting at about, so it's kicking in at about 16, kicking out at about 18. As an update, I am going to need to replace that check valve there. So the other thing is these vacuum switches, just like the modulator on the back of an automatic gearbox, you know, for your gear shifting, the vacuum modulator, in there, right in there, there's a little set screw. So this comes set to, on my vacuum gauge, switching on at about 15 and off at about 17, 18. About 1.5 turns has bumped me up to, I'm just about to check it, but it'll be about 23, 24 pounds, so, well, inches of suckies. So yeah, I'll just chuck it back in and we'll recheck. Okay, so let's see what she does now. It should be somewhere around there, I reckon. Let's go. Yeah, okay, about, what's that, say 23, 24. See what I mean? It's just bleeding a little bit, right? See, it just pumped. Not bad. Okay, just to be sure that it's the check valve, what I've done now is just connected the vacuum pump straight to the motor, right? So I'm not going through the switch, I'm just powering the sucker up. So it'll show you how much vacuum this little pump will pull, but it also is just testing that check valve to see if it's bleeding back. And I'm sorry, okay, so now let's fire up and see what happens. Boom! Okay, so that's about 28 pounds. See that? That should really hold. Change my booster out for I've got 2 other boosters over there. Pulled the first one out, was leaking. Put the other one in, I didn't think was leaking, and it was leaking once I bolted it in. So I had a 3rd booster on the shelf. So I stuck that one in, and it's got the, it is leaking a smidge, but of course I'm still waiting to replace that. So once I replace that, I'll know if the whole system is sealed. But at the moment it's just giving a little plug once every, 10 or 15 seconds just to top up. So hope it works. Oh, what are we doing here today, Stuart?
I don't know.
Stuart doesn't know. It's promising.
I think that's going there somewhere.
It's going in there. So what we're doing today, folks, is we are...
Tell him, yeah.
I'm going to try to tell them, Stuart. We are gusseting diffs. And we are gusseting the knuckles. And then we're going to gusset the top.
Bottom. Yep.
That's the bottom. But yeah, the other side, which would be the top. So just cleaning them up. Here's our little doodackies. You know, weld those suckers in there and this thing will never bend in a million years.
A little.
So one on. Two on. Oh yeah, two on. And so those are the bottoms, which means you have a bit more clearance with the bottoms, but we're just doing the tops, so they're a bit snugger. So we go and we get them on, and then if we need to, we're pretty sure we've got plenty of clearance, but if we don't, then we'll have to do a bit of grinding.
Who painted this diff? Hey, Beryl?
What?
You painted over mud.
Yeah, I did that deliberately.
Righto.
Yeah, it seals the mud in.
Do you want that?
Yeah, every good four driver knows that when you paint over mud, it actually seals it in. It becomes like a sealant, like silicon. That's how silicon came about. Mud. Just getting these gussets welded in, so we just trim them a bit. The rosy front bit is gusseted, so we kind of know where they need to sit, but without having a knuckle up. Takes the pump up. I'll clean that. Off the hook. Kicked in. Stu's not actually dremeling anything. He just thinks that when you make that noise, it means that it's cool and you're doing something real good. That's the only reason he's doing it. See? He just likes the noise, eh? See? Look. Bloody cowboy. Don't know what's going on here. Stu's doing his Michael Jackson impersonation, I think. If this lands in a straight line from there, yeah, you're safe. The wedge thing sits way up here, right there. So if you take a straight line on.
Actually implementing a globular welding technique on this one.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Is that a new kind of type?
It is a thing, but I don't know what it is really.
Stewie's charging ahead. Got gussets in there, and we're also decided while we're here, why not gusset the top? So that's a bit of 50mm box. So, see these little guys, little Sharpies. Bought 3 of them from Super Cheap like a week ago, and Stu was here one day, and now I've only got one.
Okay.
So
I didn't use Sharpie.
he's taken them to work, he's on building site, and he's bloody got them in his little leather pouchy things and his little pussy bags or whatever he carries. And now I'm left with one, and then I leave that somewhere I can't remember, and I can't find it. And it's bloody, because he's bogged off with it, and he just laughs about it. But now I've got one. I bought 3 because I always lose one. You know, if you've got kids, you know what I'm talking about. That's all I'm saying. Not frustrated, that's all I'm saying. Just saying.
Righto, kids buggered off, so got a bit of stew cam for a bit. So I'm just making this gusset for front diff here. So there she is. I've got a bit of 50 for 50 box, which I've cut the bottom off, and I'm just kind of starting to try to fit up like that somehow. I mean, I'm just kind of making it up as I go, but I'm getting pretty close. I kind of want to get rid of that gap there, because I think end game we want to have this fully welded. So I kind of want it to fit up real nice the whole way around. I'll just show you the other side. I'll just something like that, and centered up there. So I mean, we're getting there. We're getting there. I just decided that this was as good as it's going to get. First, I mean, all of those little gaps I think I could fill with weld, not too much more. This side's actually pretty nice.
On the hit list, that diff's coming out. That diff's going in. Braced, chopping along the top. Don't look at my welds. I lose my way. They're hot enough to get in, but I bloody lose my way sometimes. Stu says, "Dad, you're a butcher, but it ain't going anywhere." I'll take it. So that diff we've got to build with all the spindles off that one and the knuckles. So that's coming out. That's getting built and going in. And we'll have a front diff mounted up. So that's nearly all the running gear sussed, aside from, you know, obviously brake bleeding and crap like that. So it's getting there. Guys, this episode we're doing an electric vacuum pump install. We're doing relocating the batteries into the rear of the Patrol, and we are doing a battery box. Welcome back. A battery box.